Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. Let's start with the daily as usual to see our scenarios, main scenarios. Where are they? What happened yesterday? What it might happen today? And to see, of course, our position from the market, of course, and the channeling, starting with the impulse towards the upside finished bull run. We are currently in ABC expanding a flat for a wave 2 as 3 waves A, 3 waves B, and we're looking for a wave C as a 1, 2, 3 unfinished, and we're looking for 4 and a 5 to hit the 1.618 around the 68K here, which is of course a target for a wave C, the most common target for a wave C in an expanding flat. Currently, we can see the price is still ranging below the old base channel, using it, of course, as a resistance. And of course, regarding the new base channel, the red one taken from the wave 1 here and based on the wave 2, we can see that the price also is ranging in the middle line, as it's supposed to be always in an impulse wave 4, where we see the wave 4 coming back to the base channel, hitting the middle line, and of course using it as a support to enter again, of course, the acceleration channel taken from the wave 2 based on the wave 3, where we would like to see the wave 5 getting inside it impulsively, at least to reach the middle line, of course, for this acceleration channel. Currently, the price is still, of course, resisting in this area, and we see, of course, a clear 3 waves so far, which it can be, of course, something else can still be unfolding as diagonal and seeing a wave A, B, and a C potentially. However, if this happens, we might see, of course, a change in the psychology for the market in case we see a zigzag ABC here. That doesn't mean that we are not anymore in a bear market. We still, of course, we're gonna still be in a bear market despite the push toward the upside that it might happen. It will simply change the way how we reach, of course, the target for this bear market. Rather than a huge impulse toward the downside, it might transform to something as an ending a diagonal here, changing the psychology, meaning, of course, more bulls are trying to enter the market until, of course, the target, and we see, of course, something pushing again toward the upside for a wave 2 here, a new bull run towards the 200K for Bitcoin. So this is currently what I'm looking for and what I'm expecting also from the market. Despite, of course, that this range, it took a little bit more time than expected for a wave 2 because you are in double 1-2 there. So let's dive inside the labeling here to see exactly what and where are we from this push toward the downside. So for the wave C, we are looking at 1, 2, 3 here. The wave 3 is double 1-2. And we got, of course, a wave 3. And this wave 3 is also a question mark here, because if you dive a little bit inside it, you will see something is not okay with this wave 3, which is, of course, you would like to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Your wave 3 is the shortest, of course, in this impulse toward the downside, meaning something is wrong with this potential impulse. Unless, of course, we dive inside the micro level, and we will see it already, of course, how it might be. But, of course, on the daily, it doesn't look a healthy wave 3 there, unless we are looking here also at something like 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, probably 4 and a 5, 4 and a 5, meaning following these 1-2s. But of course, this is a very, very far possibility, since, of course, the wave 4 doesn't reflect at all any kind of a wave 2, meaning something is wrong in this impulse toward the downside. But we're gonna see it, of course, in the micro level. Now, of course, the targets for this wave C to unfold here, in case it's going to continue impulsively, you are requested here to have, of course, several 4-5 first to finish the wave 3, and then a major wave 4 to reflect, of course, is this wave 2 over there, and then, of course, having the final wave 5, 1.61868K, which is in confluence with the 0.38 taken from the wave 1 there, meaning as a retracement, you would like to see minimum target for a wave 2, 0.38, which is, of course, the most required target for a wave 2 first. And in confluence, you can see, of course, clearly that we have a very strong technical support area in this zone, where we might see, of course, a potential rebound for Bitcoin here for a bullish scenario. Now, in case we get a change in psychology, as we mentioned here, and we see a push toward the upside for Bitcoin here, of course, some levels are required here to call a change of psychology, where we hit, of course, the 99K 677. Meaning, if the price push toward the upside and takes this price exactly, this might play as invalidation of your impulse. The last impulse that we got as a 1, 2, 3. Wave 4 is not allowed to interfere with the zone 1. If this happens, of course, that means we're not impulsive anymore. Directly, we have to call something, of course, as a zigzag and as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And you have to expect, of course, zigzags toward the downside here until we reach, of course, the target at or around the 68K here for Bitcoin as well. So basically, this an ending diagonal is gonna still the same target for a bearish market, but simply, of course, it's gonna simply change the psychology how we reach this target, rather than being aggressive in simple one straight move towards the downside. It might be, of course, with some recovers here, and we might see, of course, several entries for bulls here pushing for higher, meaning a resistance from the bulls is, of course, appearing in the lows, and until we find strength again, of course, and start to build up here a 1-2 again, and breaking the high, of course, for a new bull run. Maybe it's gonna be several 1-2s as well, nobody knows. And that means, of course, it might take more time, like 1-2 and then another 1-2 and then pushing for higher. So the bull run, of course, might still need some time until, of course, we start something new. It might take until 2027, yes. It might take a year in this area, of course, until Bitcoin build up some energy again, and then start the push toward the upside for new all-time high. Yep, so this is a possibility here for Bitcoin. Another possibility, of course, is a potential bullish scenario that it might continue here, where you're still in the bull run as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your wave 5 can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 extension as an ending diagonal, of course, finishing up here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 5, or it can be something as a potential zigzags here, pushing one more high, of course, for Bitcoin as well, to finish up an ending diagonal as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and then pushing down. So this is also still a possibility, and that because, of course, you didn't took the low yet, you didn't took the 886 yet, and that's still open even a possibility for a bullish impulse again, in case that this really wants to extend. It can be, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Your wave 5 can be, of course, something as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as an extension. And if this happens, by the way, this extension might mean something even much more different. It can be, of course, a double 1-2 there, changing, of course, the labels and pushing a wave 3 over there, and then having, of course, wave 4, of course, later on. And that means, of course, this wave 5 can start to be something as a wave 3, transferring those waves below it to double 1-2. Yeah, so very possible to happen, of course, based on Elliott Wave as well as a fractal impulse. However, of course, we cannot call such a scenario. First, you need the 100K to call it, and then we need a structure here and taking the all-time high to break the diagonal, meaning the diagonal is in priority here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to be tested. And in case we break it, then yes, we call, of course, something extended as a bullish market again for Bitcoin. So we still have a lot, of course, to come to this scenario. So if you hear this scenario from many YouTubers already, we're going directly to 200K, 300K, whatever they say. Yes, it is possible, but of course, you still need a lot of things to happen, of course, before we come to this possibility, guys. Just I'm putting this already there just to make sure that yes, it is possible, but it's not that easy. We need, of course, a lot of levels to be broken, and of course, step by step. Now let's move to the 2 hours chart here. Our detailed analysis here for the micro level, where we are looking, of course, our top here or all-time high, I would say, for a 1-2, and then we're looking for wave 3 still unfinished, and that because of the double 1-2. Now, I have mentioned that on the daily there is something wrong, might be, of course, inside this wave 3, but actually on the lower time frame, it looks still, of course, yeah, somehow fine in case that you have a 1-2 there, and you have a 1-2-3-4 and a 5, probably to finish a wave 3. And then I would say even wave 3 has to finish somewhere there, knowing that also, like, if you take these waves there, these impulses, you will see, of course, that the wave 4 interfere with the zone 1, and that makes it, of course, as an expanding diagonals. And that's why we see some problems there on the daily, probably with the candles. So if this is 1-2-3-4 and a 5 for your wave 3 here, this is an expanding diagonal, of course, and then 4 and a 5, obviously, okay. This is a good impulse, but still okay. Yeah, still okay. We can call it, of course, an impulse. And we see right now a finished ABC probably. So this ABC zigzag, still, of course, a potential scenario for a 1-2-3-4-5 continuation for the next wave 5. Target is 75 or 72K or in between. However, if this is not going to happen, meaning if we don't take the confirmation for lower over there, which still, of course, almost the same, I would say yes, because even, yeah, I mean, even, yeah, we need to take it a little bit lower here. 89K, I would say, is confirmation for lower, because you might be, of course, here in potential zigzag, right? You're looking for something as a leading diagonal 1-2-3-4-5 to continue toward the upside here in a potential diagonal 1-2-3-4 and a 5. However, this range here is too much long. Okay, so we need, of course, something to push for higher already, because if it takes too much time there, we might, of course, continue the drop for lower. Another possibility here is, of course, a deeper wave 4, meaning even if we take the confirmation for lower, you might still have, of course, a possibility here for ABC and then pushing for higher, meaning simply this diagonal can, of course, still be there until this area. Okay, so it can be an A, B, and a C, and then pushing higher. So we still, of course, have some gap, some space, of course, to get lower. Another possibility as well can be a double 1-2 here, and also, as I mentioned, it can still be our testing area for a wave 2 there. Can, of course, unfold something toward the upside one more time by recharging some strength from there and pushing for higher. Now, of course, I would like to mention that we have some news, of course, today. So be careful, of course, it might be volatile, but the most volatile news is tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're gonna get, of course, the interest rate decisions. This is a very important, of course, event here, economical event. We might see a cut rate from the 4% to 3.75% for the interest rate, which it might, of course, fuel up the market very much in case we get a rate cut. Of course, we might push for higher, probably, of course, and always don't trust so much the news, but normally, as a logical thing, if we get a rate cut, we might, of course, fuel up toward the upside here, and we might see something very, very bullish. Now, you can expect that the market is going so much in sideways, and it is the calmness before the storm, if you want to say here, because, of course, always when a interest rate decision comes in, the market calmed down so much. Of course, precaution is taken from all traders almost, and of course, just waiting for the rate decision to see what's gonna be, and then, of course, entering the market when it happens. So yep, so these are the things to update here for Bitcoin. Of course, for KGT as well, it's interesting to take a look. So for KGT on the 3-minute chart, we can see, of course, the consolidation here is still, of course, occurring with several bullish signal. We see, of course, the price pushing still in this area, but at the same time, we can see, of course, the bearish pressure at the same time, of course, coming in. So this is convergence. So it is playing good. It has went down. Now we got, of course, another bullish signal, but unfortunately it's not in divergence again. You would like to see the CVD line pushing lower while the price is higher. You want to see, of course, something open here, of course, between the price and the CVD line. Now, of course, we see a little bit, but preferably that this signal is below this one and the price is above it. Yeah, so that means you would like to see a very clear divergence to claim something very bullish. Now, what I see, of course, that yes, it might be, of course, continuation sideways probably for Bitcoin. It might be boring a little bit until, of course, we get the rate decision. We might see something like that, and probably, of course, pushing for higher when we get a rate decision again. Unless also it can be, of course, something pushing down and then up also when we get a rate decision for Bitcoin. So by all means, I don't see yet, of course, a strong push toward the upside yet. I don't see it also on the KGT and in the indicator. So basically, if we are in a formation for leading diagonal because of the zigzag here, okay, then we need to push for higher. Otherwise, the things might go sideways, or of course we gonna test this area, in this case of weakness, of course. But I doubt it a little bit, guys. My highest possibility, of course, here is to go a little bit sideways, and it might take time, of course, until the decision rate. That was it for Bitcoin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye.